Good morning. Welcome to episode 4 of Sakura Questfast, the Lone Alchemist. I'm Caitlin Glass, ADR Director for the dub of Sakura Quest. Joining me today are voice actors Brina Palencia and David Wald. Let's get to it. We're live, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I can't believe it.
Oh my god, that
Good
happened
morning,
super
everyone.
fast.
Good morning.
It's already up.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there and it's there.
I'm retweeting.
Yeah. Welcome. This is episode 4 of Sakura Questfest. Joining me this morning are voice actors from the show. To my right,
I'm Brina Palencia.
who do you play?
Ririko.
Ririko. And over here is...
I am David Wald.
And who do you play?
I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Kasushi.
Kasushi.
Yeah.
I never said my own name.
Fair. Very fair. You
Yeah.
never had to say it. So we're going to get started. Ready? Ready? You ready? Awesome. Let's do it. Bing. Our episode's going over here. Yeah. And
I've never even seen the opening of this at all.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything.
Well, here's the opening. That's awesome.
This is so exciting.
I think you'll really like the music. Like,
Maybe I should do a cover.
I think you should.
Oh, that is super cute.
Same artist as the closing.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
So if you're watching us via Periscope, the phone is kind of far away. So all we can really see are the hearts flying on the side. We can't actually read your
Actually,
questions.
if you type in caps, I can kind of see it.
So all caps. You guys have to shout.
Yeah, only in all caps.
Shout and use emojis. And then we can kind of guess what it is that you're talking about.
Be like,
So while the opening's going, we'll tell everybody what mugs we brought today. Mine is this fabulous Spirited Away Studio Ghibli one that I just got because that's my favorite, and it's got all the characters.
That's super cute.
I mean, the root-faced guy and the little fat mouse somewhere. Yeah.
That's
Spirited Away.
classy.
This is actually a mug that my mom gave me. It's a specialty something from Ecuador. Because she lives in Ecuador. For the record, my family's not Ecuadorian, we're Honduran, but my mom just happens to live in Ecuador. Everyone gets really
Why
confused by that.
It's a good place to go visit. So.
It is an awesome place to visit.
And what are you repping over here?
I am here to defend the Empire.
Oh my. Is that a Rogue One cup?
It is
I love that
Rogue
one.
One. I was going to leave that obscured and let you decide which Empire.
Your
I'm all
own.
for
The
choice.
Roman Empire?
This is a pro-choice empire as far as choice of empire.
You choose your empire and promote it. This is already, right off the bat, one of my very favorite lines of Ririko's when you're reading her blog.
I'm afraid that means I'll also be forced to say goodbye to all of my little bug pals.
Bug pals!
Bug pals.
Bug pals. So, how do you guys like your characters so far?
I love mine, like for sure. I haven't got to play a real kind of quiet, flat character in a long time. And the thing I love about those characters is that I feel like it's a really fun challenge because I think a lot of people tend to look at them as just like, oh, they just have no emotion, which I don't think is true at all. I think that they're just like completely like to the brim with emotion and have no idea how to express it. And so it's just kind of like having all those feelings and then just like pushing it down.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting, fun challenge.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Ririko's deal is.
Yeah, me
What's
too.
she all about?
Yeah, and like her relationship with her grandmother is definitely interesting.
Very. Especially some stuff we haven't recorded yet that you're
Oh,
gonna like. It's
really?
gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, you guys. How about you? So Kasushi is just in episodes 4 and 5, to our knowledge. And well, he's a cool
Very
dude.
important episodes.
Yeah, they are. Especially for you, because they're your episodes.
Precisely.
Yeah. How was your experience?
Oh, I
with it?
love Kazushi. I have a feeling like if he were like a musician, you know, the band would be like, we want to add another chorus on that song. He'd be like, I'm quitting the band. You know? Like he's all about like artistic integrity above all. It'd be like Smashing Pumpkins. They broke up at the end of every show. This is our last performance together.
I'm leaving the shop, you guys. That's great. So in episode 4, we get to introduce a lot of new characters, actually. David is one of them. Another voice actor, Jim Ferranda, plays Tatsuo, and he'll be on the show next week. Yay, Jim. Let's see. Coming up, we get to meet Dokushima, which is played by Charlie Campbell, and also Shiori's parents, which are Lucy Christian and Ben Bryant. So,
I love Lucy Christian.
No, she's so great. She can do anything. anything.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
She
absolutely
is full on
anything.
ninja.
Yeah. So let's hit some of these questions that fans have sent. Ben would like to know, have any of you ever visited a town like Manoyama before?
Ooh.
I'm going to eat food because I'm hungry.
I mean, I've only ever, if specifically like a Japanese town like this, then no. I've only ever been to Tokyo and Kyoto. But I mean, I've had my fair share of small towns. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely went to high school in a small town, Weatherford, Texas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And before that, I went to like elementary school and stuff outside of Tulsa in a town called Owasso, which wasn't quite as small as Weatherford, but still a small town. But none of them had like the cool like town mascot and like all that stuff. I guess Weatherford, they were like the Weatherford Roos, which I think is a really weird
Roo?
mascot.
Like a kangaroo?
Kangaroo, yeah, they were the kangaroos. And I remember when I first moved there, when I was like 15, I was like, we're not in Australia. Why are you in a
I'm
kangaroo?
not sure I've
That's
even
so
seen
weird.
a kangaroo at a zoo here in Texas. I mean, I'm sure they're here.
Yeah, I'm sure they exist. But
Can I just ask though, did the kangaroo mascot have boxing gloves on?
Yes.
So
Because
the
it's like the
fighting.
fighting kangaroo.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
we need an animal that fights, but
Exactly.
the one that's lovable.
Yeah, but so anybody that knows Weatherford, they will be like, oh yeah, fighting roos. And I'm like, I guess. I guess that makes
I never
sense.
fought any myself. I hear that's happened.
David, how about you? Small town experiences?
Well, I've never been to Japan, to my eternal regret. Hopefully not eternal.
Yeah, no, good lord. Are
Yeah,
you dying right
got
after
to
this?
go. I've got 10 minutes.
I wanted to spend my last moments with you.
He loves you, fans.
But I
He really
get
wants
to do a
to.
dramatic death scene in a few. But I have I spent some time in the Czech Republic a couple of years ago. I was working
Oh,
with
awesome.
the Prague Shakespeare Company, which was an
cool.
amazing
I'm
experience.
That's amazing.
But we did go to a town called Český Krumlov, which is a few hours outside of Prague, and it's all built around this castle, the Český Krumlov Castle, which is this ancient. I mean, everything in the Czech Republic is ancient. You know, it's real history. Anytime you watched a movie where they shoot anything in old Europe, they're always shooting in Prague. You know. But Český Krumlov is this very little town built around this big castle, and it's sort of like this. I don't even know how many locals there are in Český Krumlov. There were a lot of hotels, but I couldn't even imagine anybody actually lived there. I think people just went there to check out the castle.
All right.
Interesting.
I just went to Waxahachie last weekend to go to Scarborough Renaissance Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And as I was driving in, I'm like, this is kind of Manoyama-like.
Well, yeah, because they do have like the fairgrounds and they
They
have
have the
like
fairgrounds,
fun
and that's
little-
the big attraction of the town and
Yeah.
everything else. Like, what else do you do in Waxahachie?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it's very picturesque. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful there. Anyway, so thank you for that question, Ben. You've got a part 2. We'll save that for later around the table.
The Return of Ben.
Let's see. This one is fun, and it's specifically for you guys. It doesn't have anything to... Well, it does have something to do with Sakura Quest. Michael would like to know, if Brina and David's respective fairy tale characters were in the world of this show, what kind of job could they have with the tourism board?
Ooh, I think
And tell the folks at home who you play in case people, like, they know
Yeah.
the character, but not that
I
it's
played
you.
Juvia, and I think that she should be in charge of building a water park.
They don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Them.
Well, I play Gajil in Fairy Tale, and you would think he would be sort of the ironworker version of the woodworking artist I play shortly here, but I think that's too easy. I think Gajil would be in charge of security.
What do people need to be secured from in a town like Manoyama?
Oh, he'll make sure there's something.
Chupacaburas.
Exactly.
Yes.
Protect us from
Chupacabra
the
security guard.
Yeah.
He'd be like the bouncer of the town. That would be the Gaj.
That's awesome. This question is from Patrick, and it's for me, and he's always asking me about Love Live, and sometimes I don't get a chance to answer those, so I want to throw this out there. Patrick wants to know, if I was in Japan, what would I do if I met Ririko Hori, also known as Pyle, who plays my character Maki in Love Live? I think I might faint, or like hug her, or I'd have to bring Gajil security
Would it be
Right,
like matter
to
and antimatter?
protect her from me.
Because you'd be so
It'd be
excited.
weird. Yeah, I'd be like, I'm you. She's like, no, you're not. But in Japanese, she is amazing. She blows my mind. Her voice is fabulous, and I love her. Thanks for your question, Patrick. Okay, before I ask this question from Diego, I want to ask one of Diego's old questions from episode 1 because it's my favorite question.
The return of Diego.
The return of Diego. Who is your favorite queen?
Ooh.
Right? Good one.
Well, the first one that popped up was Beyonce, but I have to correct that and say that my mom. That's why I brought the mom card.
Feelings.
I wish I'd gone
Hey,
first.
mom queen. Favorite queen.
Yeah, beat your mom.
Okay,
Beat that.
I can't do that. But the only answer I can come up with that question is Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury wins everything. Everything. All contests.
You are
He's
the
for sure
champion
queen, yeah.
of the queen question.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another one bites the dust.
That's awesome. All right. Diego, your question 2 is going to be for over at the table. We're saving that one.
That's a table matter.
We're gonna table that.
Something better handled at the table.
All right. Adrian would like to know, what's the hardest anime that you worked on as a voice actor? Doesn't elaborate what makes it hard, so I'll let you choose what made some experience in some show the most difficult.
I'd say probably the physically the most difficult. It wasn't technically for an anime, but it was the live action dub we did at Funny for Rurouni Kenshin. And I was Shishio, the villain in that one. And for those of you not familiar with the title, he's he pretty much starts the story. Big bad villain. He's already burned up and wrapped in bandages, and he's already had a very difficult life. So he sounds very, raspy and haggard and used.
Aw,
And he
great
spends
descriptions.
most of the film fighting and screaming at soldiers. And I was only in town for one day, so we had to do it all in one day.
Ooh, ouch.
Much throat coat was consumed,
Yeah, I bet
but we
you-
got through it. Chris, George, and I are better men for it. And
I'm glad something.
Yeah.
that which does not kill us makes us funnier.
I would say the most physically taxing role I've ever had was Priscilla in Claymore. Because it's kind of spoiler, but when she accesses her Yoki and monsters out, we layered that voice. I did it, so I had to do those takes 3 different times and all in different haggard, used sounding voices. And so after the after that session, Leah Clark, who is one of my besties, we were doing dinner afterward, and she walked in and she was like, "Oh, hey, you ready to go?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh my God, what did you do? What happened?" So it was actually after that role. I'm really glad I got to do that role, but it was after that role that I vowed to never do that again.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
You're
like, I use this for a living.
I don't want to do that.
I'm so glad you and Leah are in this show together.
Me too. She's so good at
You
it.
guys sound awesome. It's funny. I think one of my most physically strenuous roles was also Claymore.
Yeah.
For similar reasons. I didn't have to do the layering thing. I think you only saw my character Deneva go full on Yoki maybe once, but it was really complicated. The transformation and everything that she was doing throughout.
The timing of it.
Yeah, there wasn't really a way to get part of it and then punch in for the next part.
that's
So
the
it just
worst.
had to be hey, we're gonna try and get this in one take and make sure this part is really big and this part you do this and say words. It's not just growling.
Yeah, that's
And
terrible.
when I was doing it, it felt great and it was really amazing and it's neat when we get challenges like that.
Yeah.
And I did it, and then they're like, "Oh, this one part, we kind of need to do it again. Are you okay to do it again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Oh,
That'll be great.
You're like,
give me a few minutes.
Yeah, it might not be.
It didn't hurt, but apparently my voice didn't like that very much. Yeah. But
That's where I say the weird.
The weird.
What's the word?
Mokele Mabembe.
Yeah, mokele mabembe.
Mokele Mabembe is this thing that you can hear in this particular scene because you're just talking about weird animals.
Yeah, like I do,
Yeah, we'll let you at home look up what the heck Mokele Mabembe is.
Because that's what we had to do.
Yeah. In the show, Sana even says, nobody knows what that is. But you guys guys at home can know. Look it up.
It's a teachable
Mokele
moment.
Mbembe.
Anime is here to teach.
How do you spell that? I don't know. Look that up too.
Yeah, figure it out. Say, Siri, look up Mokele Mbembe.
Last night my husband sat on his phone and didn't realize it, and then he was saying to the dog, it's time to go to sleep, and then Siri goes, Siri never sleeps. We're all
That is so creepy.
like, where did that go?
That is horrifying. Oh my god.
Well, honey, I'm gonna go to work. Siri doesn't think so.
Siri never sleeps.
Ew! Siri is watching you, and you too.
She's probably listening to us right now.
I think she is.
Yes.
She's like, did someone call for me?
Everything is just fine.
Okay, I've got a really good question from Michelle. Oh, this one's kind of for me. So you,
Siri is learning. Oh, thanks. They like my green hair.
yeah, read some periscopes, drink some things, eat some stuff, because this is kind of a directory question from Michelle. She'd like to know, how do you decide which director gets to work on what broadcast dub each season? Excellent question. Little insight into how this all works.
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
We fight to the death. There are many would-be ADR directors' bones strewn about.
The turnover is
And we
so
leave them in the studio just to remind.
Yeah, like, how dare you?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
No, for real. We are all sent a list, and from that list we can go online and start researching, here's what these shows are, and then send our short version to the producers and say, these are the top 2 or 3 that I'm interested in. Maybe even send them one that you're absolutely, I really don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. For whatever reason, you're tired of that kind of show, or any reason at all.
Or maybe a show you just don't understand. Like,
Yeah, like, I don't know what that is. We don't really get to watch it before we are choosing it. All that we have are PVs, so promotional videos, that are all in Japanese, and descriptions online telling us. But it said this was slice of life, it said it was PA works, things that I like, so this was top of my list, and I got it. So I think,
That's really cool. Like, you guys there's some level of choice of your project.
I think a lot of directors this season got
That's awesome.
something that they were interested in, so
Yeah.
that makes me happy. And I gotta open this up again. It keeps closing. We did Michael, we did Ben, we did Michelle. Oh, this is you where you have to do your weird, the Buddha machine like freaks you out in a second.
excellent.
This is from Cameron. Hi, Cameron. This was my original question. I had another one that was way better, but I've forgotten it. Okay, well, we'll make the most out of this one. Caitlin and Brina, who is your best girl? Do you mean, I don't know if he means from this show, or if like someone goes, who's your waifu? Do you have, who is best girl?
Oh,
I know, right?
I don't know. Like our best friend, or like someone, or girl we admire? Or-
From anime, I
From
think. is what it
anime.
means. Yeah, do you have an anime best girl? It could be like an opposite to one of your characters that you're.
I haven't really committed yet.
Right. Or best boy. Can we do best boy?
I'm not,
best
I'm not
girl?
ready to go steady.
Wow, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Because it's also like best girl meaning like who would I want to hang out with? Who would I want to marry? Who would I want to? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, this is hard. You thought, Cameron, that you didn't have a good question, but it's apparently an excellent question because you've stumped us.
The other one was way better, though.
What?
just gonna go ahead and tell you. Man, I don't know. I think. I don't know.
That's okay.
I wish there was more. If there was more detail as far as what that means, best
Yeah.
girl.
Okay, Cameron, for next week, you
Yeah.
gotta clarify.
Clarify.
Best girl in the world, best
Yeah.
girl in Sakura Quest, best girl in anime. Inquiring minds want to know.
And also, what does best girl mean?
Jerry Jewell talking about Shakespeare. Cool, man. This is an interesting one. From Athby, what's going on? I've always been hesitant to ask this question, but if you have any kind of advice, I'd be grateful. My question is, if an actor with a visual impairment wanted to audition for a role, do you think the director would be willing to send the script ahead of time so they could prepare themselves?
That is a good question.
Also, if the director can't send the script, can they make the font size bigger to meet their preference?
Font size bigger for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a really specific question, but I'm sure that it pertains to more people than just you.
Yeah.
So thanks for asking.
Well, especially a lot of our older actors really need the font size like huge to be able to see it.
Yeah, you're in a dark booth, and
Yeah.
you know a lot of folks wear glasses. Not just older actors; all kinds of people wear glasses.
I need the font pretty big because I used to be used to have horrible vision. Like I think I was legally blind, but I got LASIK, and so now my LASIK is kind of like
Wearing off.
a little bit.
Oh no!
And so but I don't want to wear glasses in the booth because it hurts to wear glasses in the booth.
And the headphones.
Yeah, with the headphones. And so I'll just be like, can you just make it like absurdly large, please?
Yeah. But as far as sending the script in advance, that's probably something they can do, that you may have to sign what's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to get that says that you won't share the audition sides with anybody, you won't talk about it. Most people know that anyway when they come in person, but they're not leaving with the audition material.
Yeah.
And it's only at places like Funimation and some other studios that you would go in person anyhow.
Yeah.
Most voiceover you're going to audition for is not going to be in person. You're going to do it on your own in your own studio, something like that anyway. So you'll have time to spend with the copy, and you can make it as big as you want it.
Yeah, and you can do it as many times as you want, which is nice. I actually prefer auditioning from home. When you have to audition in the booth, there's like, you're kind of expected to just do it in one take, and it's like, what if I wanted to do like 20 takes?
Yeah. I think the benefit of doing it in the booth, at least from a director's perspective, is that you can see how well the actor is going to take direction if they're new. If it were you guys, I've worked with you guys, so I know your skill and what you can handle. But if it's someone new, I might ask them to do something completely against character, just to see
how they receive that direction.
How do you interpret the things?
I always like to be in the booth.
I always prefer to be in the booth often it just doesn't work out because of geography and logistics. But
oh yeah, because
I always
doesn't
prefer
live
to
up
be
here, so we're lucky to have him. He just happens to be here for a session.
I flew in this morning, took the chopper,
Just for this Paris.
the funny chopper. He sent it right to my house. You guys get that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, this is cool. And we have all directed, so I think we can all answer this question. Tanner would like to know, when casting for a show, do you ever see a character and think, I know someone who's perfect for this role? Because you've heard them play something similar or seen them in a play before. And from an acting standpoint, this is kind of a different question. So let's just stick with that one. When you're casting, do you ever watch the show and go, I know?
For sure. I mean, I feel like whenever I was directing, I would immediately think of like, oh, that's definitely a Lucy Christian type. Oh, that's definitely a Monica Rial type. Like, that's a Caitlin type. Like, I'll have like the types, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's who I'll cast. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way, because you might think like, oh, they would be great in that, which is probably true, but who else brings something that I didn't think of? That's what you like to see. That's what I like to see, is like, who will come into the audition and think of something that I didn't even think of, a twist on this character that I wouldn't have thought of.
I agree. Absolutely, you get. I mean, sometimes you don't. It's not. I mean, my experience wasn't that I would watch a title and go, I know who I'm going to make. I'm going to put in every role, But you definitely get a clear sense of the music you're after a couple minutes.
That's a good way to
listening.
put it. Yeah.
Where I find it really useful, actually, is in script writing, because. It doesn't, that certainly does not mean that you're going to go to the director and go, hey, I thought of this guy for the role or whatever, and they're going to go, yeah, but from my own perspective, writing a script, if you start to hear a certain actor in it, it gives you a better, it makes it easier to distinguish the voice of that character. You know what I mean? And it may or may not end up being that actor in the role, but that character has their own sort of music.
Yeah.
Which is important. It's important in a script that all the characters don't speak and sound alike, the same cadences.
Yeah, I would say it's an easy way to kind of keep that character consistent, is if you have a consistent person in your mind the whole time.
I definitely think of people in mind for roles, because with broadcast dubs, we don't really have time for auditions anymore. So I do have to use those instincts. And depending on how much of the show has come out, if the actor happens to be around, maybe I could get them to come in and deliver some of the lines from the subtitles just to double check. But generally, everything I'm doing is based on actor clips that are on the database and what I just already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a little frustrating, but we have DVD shows to supplement, so I'll have
Right,
people
that's where you
auditioning
can,
for those.
Raise up the unknowns a little bit more.
Yeah,
in the DVD
and
books.
hear them at that point, and then I might remember somebody for a broadcast show later on. So our episode has ended, so now it's time to plug yourself. Let everybody at home know where they can find you on the internet or at conventions or what shows you're watching that you want them to watch. So take it away.
I'm in this show called Sakura Quest that I really want you to watch.
Up, I've never heard of that before.
You can follow me on Instagram at Brinakins, BRINAKINS. I do a lot of music stuff on there, and then you can also follow me on Twitter at Brina Palencia. I also have a Facebook, but I never check it or do
The
anything.
theme of
on
this
it.
show. I've just connected it to my Twitter, so the things I tweet go there too, and that's it.
Right? Yeah.
I still check my Facebook. I'm very old school. I've barely learned how to navigate Instagram. I've got the Instagram account, but I just go check it every once in a while and see if anything's happening. And I'm like, great. I haven't posted anything yet. You can find me at Facebook via my name, David Wald. For those of you playing the home game, Wald. On Instagram and Twitter both, it's David Wald VA. David Wald _VA.
Cool.
Underscore is completely spelled.
Are
It's not.
Are there a lot of other David Walds in the world?
There are. There's one of them friended me. He's like there's a geophysicist, David Wald.
What?
That's so
There's
cool.
there's a Hollywood stuntman, David Wald, who apparently played one of the Power Rangers, and people occasionally
Always
will
think
ask
that
me,
you're a Power
"Were you a
Ranger."
Power Ranger?" And I'm like, "Yes, I was."
Yes, I was.
Just take it.
There's an Episcopal priest named Caitlin Glass.
Really?
Yeah.
There are no other Brina Palencias. I've even done
That's true.
the name search thing where there was some app for a while that's like, what's the likelihood of someone else having your name? And Brina Palencia, they were 0% of anyone having that name.
Your names both have such great poetry, though.
I
It's nice
really
that
love
they're
my
unique
name. I
too.
used to hate it when I was a kid because it was unique and no one ever pronounced it right.
name's what?
There was also a pack of Michelles that were in my class that were all named Michelle, and my middle name's Michelle, and so I tried to go by Michelle, and they were just like, "You're not a Michelle."
And
We
I-
had the Jennifers in my high school. There was 30 of them.
Yeah, but now I love it. I love that no one has my name. It makes me happy.
Well, people whose names I love, we are going to migrate over to the table to do a couple extra questions. So this shall end the periscoping portion of the day. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Thanks for your questions. See you next week with Jim Ferranda and Elizabeth Maxwell. Oh boy. Bye guys.
Yay.
Delicious. Hey guys, welcome back to Sakura Questfast. It's my favorite portion of the show called Finish Your Coffee. Caitlin's gotta go to work.
What if I'm just drinking water?
Well, now the audience knows. Way to go.
I'm just kidding. It was totally coffee
Mine's
this whole time.
orange
Fourth wall
juice,
break.
but I can't change it every episode and say finish your whatever's in your cup. Caitlin's got to go to work.
Because then you have to have this whole conversation and it sort of defeats the purpose of trying
Yeah,
to
and I'm
rush through
like,
this.
we
so
got to
that you
change
can go
the
to work.
writing on
Yeah.
the bottom every
Finish
time.
your hooch.
Finish your dang drink. Some of us have jobs. Lazy people. Okay, we have a few more questions that we want to answer. I mentioned earlier that we were going to save part of Diego's question for now, and the time has come. Diego would like to know, do we have any special talents?
I sing and play ukulele, and if you follow me on Instagram, I take one-word suggestions and write 60 seconds or less songs based off of your one-word suggestion.
There you go.
Wow. You can provide evidence.
Brinakins on Instagram.
BRINAKINS. Brinakins.
And they're awesome songs.
That's great. I'm also a musician. I was actually, I didn't even go to school for acting. I was a jazz and studio music major.
I went to school for music
Speed up.
too, but I did classical. We can't talk.
That's all right. We'll be fine. Now that we're out of school,
Yeah.
the wall is, is lifted.
But you're very jazzy. I believe it.
No.
Okay. Sorry I said anything.
I actually love jazz. I'm just kidding. I also went to UNT, which was like a jazz school.
Yeah.
I did too. I was there for a semester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not go to UNT, but I do also sing, and I don't really play an instrument like perfectly, but I can read music.
But
and
you're
stuff.
an excellent singer. I got to
Thank you.
conduct this gal in a choir.
I love that. That was
Yeah.
so fun.
So clearly, in a future episode, we're getting the band back together.
If Kazushi would not stop quitting the band after every performance.
This is our last performance. I'm sick of you guys.
This is our first and last performance.
Another, I don't know if it's a talent or just something weird that I've remembered. In the 4th grade, I had to learn all the presidents of the United States in order, and I can still say them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It would take a while, though, so,
Yeah.
ask me at a con. And I'll totally do that for you.
You're going to regret that at the next convention you go to.
You better sharpen that up.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Where's that other
Make
one?
sure and ask her at the next con you see her at.
Danielle has a question. Danielle would like to know, what makes Sakura Quest different than any other anime you've worked on in the past?
I think just the slice of life element and the fact that it's all girls who are not, sexualized at all. That it's just like girls being girls and having fun and being friends.
Yeah.
And that it's just very realistic.
And thus far, it's not even about them trying to get some guy either.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just so many shows are all about that.
Yeah.
Or in order for the world to be saved, this girl has to get with that guy.
Yeah,
Like, really?
exactly.
Ugh, okay.
What's the test? Do you guys know what there's
The
like? There's
Bechdel
this
test?
the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
Does it pass?
I think it does.
Yeah, it definitely passes.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. So way to go. How about you? What's different about this for you?
I love it's being a slice of life show and being centered, as you say, around a couple of girls. Like often those things can go pretty broad. You know what I mean? And what I really love about this one is, and who is the scriptwriter?
Jessica Kavanaugh.
Jessica Kavanaugh.
She's a wonderful theater actress.
There's some really beautifully naturalistic dialogue in this show, I think, and it's even though just the language itself is less heightened usually than you find in most anime. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Awesome. This next question is one of my favorite questions that we've ever gotten so far. It is from a person whose actual name I don't know, that they've just entitled themselves The Writing Dyslexic. So, male, female, dunno. But the question is...
It's a concept, really.
Yeah.
You got an email from a concept.
Yeah.
In this show, what deep character defect have you uncovered in your characters thus far? Can you relate? And are you excited to help them overcome it as the story progresses? This is a fabulous question.
I love that question. I know with Ririko, I think, and maybe it is me projecting because this is something that I have struggled with my life. I feel like she likes to push people away and live in her little bubble because she doesn't feel worthy of accepting love. And so I feel like I could see her already kind of progressively like allowing herself to open up and have those relationships and like start to feel worthy of that, and I'm excited to see more of it.
Oh, and you just want her to just embrace everybody. Just like, let everyone in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
How are you? Character defect, or is he working on it?
I think Kazushi. I think like when he meets the girls, he sort of is quick to dismiss their validity. You know what I mean? And it's like I think it's common of people who live a life centered around like a dedication to an art. That it's really easy to fall into the trap of questioning other people's artistic motives, artistic intent, and deciding that they don't really approve of whatever it is they see or don't see, and just sort of, I don't need to consider you again.
Oh.
And I think he comes around a little bit, I guess. He doesn't have long to work on this project.
2 episodes of it.
He's going home and thinking about it. I assure you.
Yeah. You kind of see just the little like toe into the pool of, well, I guess this is okay, and then the episode's over, leaving you to assume he's gonna be fine.
It's all gonna be
It may take
great.
him a while, but he's gonna be okay. This question, this is kind of just for me, but you asked it. So, hey DJ. DJ wants to know, how did it feel playing Elma in Xenoblade Chronicles DX? It was awesome. It was really hard. Over 40 hours just to record that game. Have I played it afterwards? I have not, though I do finally have a copy that I found like on sale at GameStop.
Yay!
And I'm horrible at these kinds of games, so I'll probably make my husband play it while I watch.
The sunset was so beautiful.
Yay! I think we actually got to everybody's questions this time around. So now what we're going to do is draw a name if you sent us a question. We're super grateful. And you can win this picture, which is from this week's episode. There's a little Chupacabra wooden figurine. I'm sure Tatsu will carve it, not you. You would not make such drivel.
Never. Never. Otherwise, I'm quitting the band!
So I don't know who wants to draw it. If someone wants to choose it, the other person wants to read it. Pick a name, any name. Okay. The winner is
Diego!
Diego, you're our big winner. Thanks.
The return of Diego again!
Yes, thanks.
Diego strikes back.
Defend the Diego.
This time, he's back.
All right, so Diego, send us a mailing address at sakuraquestfest@gmail.com, and we can send you this awesome picture. We will sign it for you. These fabulous cast members right here. And that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Please check out Sakura Quest at Funimation Now or wherever you get Funimation streaming, legally please.
Yes.
And keep tuning in to our show. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
鏡の中眠たそうな目こすってそっぽ向いた前髪におはよう眩しい朝いい天気きっとね
It's a bean. Will you chill out?